Hey everybody, it's Erin. Welcome to Friday Night Yin. A moment to get set up here. We're going to be using 2 blankets and a block for tonight's class, so we'll keep those within close reach. And we're going to go ahead and get started on our backs. So coming to a comfortable position, laying the spine out long on the floor. Arms can extend out, taking up some space. Legs can come long, or maybe soles of the feet plant on the floor with knees bent, falling in towards one another for constructive rest pose. And feeling free to use any of your props to support the body so that we can start to settle in. Taking a few deep breaths on your own. And noticing if that starts to slow down your heart rate or help relax some tension in the body. You can gently close the eyes if you feel comfortable. And then just simply start to notice the body. Noticing if there's any discomfort or tightness. And if you need to make any adjustments to your shape, you can always feel free to do that. Feeling the rise and fall of the belly and the chest as you inhale and exhale. Wherever you are, just place both hands on the belly. And as we breathe, we're going to send the breath into that lower part of the abdomen so that you can feel it expand and contract beneath your hands as you breathe. Next, we'll slide the hands up to the rib cage, right in the center of the torso. Just laying the hands across either side. And then this time, as we inhale, we'll draw the breath into the belly and then into the ribs. Feeling the expansion beneath the hands again and the contraction as you exhale. Feeling the ribs widening out to the side as the lungs fill and deflate. And last, we'll move the hands up to the chest to rest just under the collarbone. And this time with our breaths, we'll draw the inhale into the belly, the ribs, and last into the chest, feeling the lift under the hands. And then exhaling to let the chest, ribs, and belly fall back towards the earth. And continuing with this cycle of 3-part breath at your own pace for a few more rounds. And this 3-part breath is something you can return to throughout class in any shape that we're in to create length and depth in your breathing. Which will help you maximize the benefit from the postures that we do throughout class. And after your next exhale, we'll release hands away from the body. And just gently blink eyes open. Letting the light come back into your field of vision. We'll take a few windshield wipers with the knees. Letting both knees fall over to one side and then the other, bringing soles of the feet to plant on the ground if you haven't already. And then bringing knees back to center. We'll send the left leg out long. Right knee will stay bent. And we'll clasp fingers around the right shin or knee. Actually, we'll just do right hand to right knee. Left hand can come to left hip to keep that left hip connected with the floor. And we'll inhale to begin. And then exhale to draw that right knee over to the right, pulling it towards the floor, using the weight of the right hand to help guide it. Inhale back to center. And exhale to drop that right knee open. And continuing with this. Opening and closing at your own pace. You don't need too deep of a bend in that right knee. It can be close to 90 degrees rather than just trying to scrunch it up towards the shoulder. We're going more for the opening in the inner hip muscle here. And then on your next exhale, as you drop that right knee towards the floor, we'll keep it here. Option to grab a prop to place under the knee for support. A blanket might be nice. Rolled up. An option to straighten that leg, maybe clasping fingertips around the toe, or you can keep it bent. Either way, breathing into whatever shape you've chosen, and using the weight of the hands to keep that right knee pulling towards the earth and keeping left hip connected to the earth. With all yin poses at any point during our time in the shape, if you feel like you want to deepen or back off of the shape that you've chosen, feel free to do so. Next breath in, we'll pull that right knee back through center. And then exhale to send it out long and switch out to the legs. So bending at the left knee. Left palm of the hand comes to left shin. Right hand comes to right hip. We'll inhale to begin at center. And then exhale to open left knee out to the left. And then again, taking 4 or 5 rounds of this opening and closing, following your own breath. And then when you're ready, preparing to hold on the left side, maybe grabbing your prop. If you wanted a support underneath the left knee, and finding your shape. Settle into. And on your next inhale, we'll bring left knee back through center. And then exhale to release that leg out long, shaking out both legs, releasing any tension in the hips. And then we'll bend both knees again, bringing soles of the feet to plant on the floor. Arms will come long alongside the upper body, palms facing down, planting into the earth, and grounding through heels and palms. And an inhale will send hips up towards the sky, squeezing glutes, lifting the chest for bridge pose. And on an exhale, rolling the spine back down towards the earth, all the way. And at the bottom of the exhale, hugging the knees in towards the chest and maybe wrapping arms around shins. Nice. Inhale to replant soles of the feet. Lift the hips. Exhale to roll back down, hug knees toward chest. Inhale, soles of the feet plant, hips lift. Exhale to lower and curl. And taking a few more rounds of this bridge flow, of warming the spine up, warming the hips up. And next time you move into your lifted bridge shape, we're going to hold here. We'll make this a supported bridge. So grabbing props once again, either a block or stacking up a few blankets right underneath the sacrum. An option here to straighten the legs if you want to deepen the opening in the front of the hips, and you may need to lower your block or blanket height in order to do that. And finding your supported bridge pose. And finding the breath again. Alternatively, you can straighten one leg at a time. You want to get some of that hip flexor opening. It can be a little much on the lower back to straighten both legs all the way, so this is a good modification. Starting to ground through the heels once again. The forearms and palms, and then inhale, we'll press hips back up towards the sky, lifting away from our prop so that we can remove it, and then exhaling to roll the spine one vertebrae at a time back down to the earth. Next inhale, we'll take a long body stretch, reaching through fingertips, reaching through toes. And then exhale to curl to one side. And then at your own pace, pressing yourself up to a seated position. Finding a comfortable seat. Maybe bringing a blanket underneath the sits bones. Bring the hips up a little bit. Once we found our comfortable seat, we'll start by just finding a neutral spine. So drawing up through the crown of the head, feeling some length. Gently hugging shoulders back. Belly button draws in towards the spine. Next inhale, we'll bring the arms up overhead, sweeping up towards the sky. And then we'll exhale to twist to the right. Right hand can connect, the left hand can connect to right knee. Right hand plants at the base of the spine to create some support and stability. An option to start to track your gaze over the right shoulder if you want to bring the twist into the neck. I'm just holding here, imagining drawing your breath up the spine while it's in this helix shape and pulling it back down, sending it into the earth. Breathing deeply, remembering that 3-part breath from the beginning of class. Inhale, we'll start to untwist, bringing arms back up overhead. And then exhale to take that twist over to the left. Connecting right hand to left knee or thigh. And letting left hand plant at the base of the spine. Breathing fully and deeply. And again, maybe bringing the twist into the neck, taking gaze over the left shoulder. Next inhale, start to untwist. Arms come back up through center. Exhale, we'll plant right hand on the floor alongside us. Left arm comes up and over, reaching through fingertips. And rather than thinking about curving over to the right, think about making a line, a long line from left hip through left fingertips. Still feel the side body opening here without flexing the spine too far in one direction or the other. Next inhale, we'll flip palm to face up towards the sky. And then exhale, while reaching through fingertips, we'll start to circle that left arm down towards the ground or left hip. Bringing gaze towards right fingertips, towards the ground. And inhale, we'll flip palm back up. And bring that left arm back up and over. And we'll plant left hand next to right. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And then exhale to fold over, walking hands through center. And then back towards the body to come back to an upright seat. Next inhale, arms will sweep overhead once again. Exhale, left hand plants, right arm comes up and over, and again reaching long through those fingertips, creating that nice long line from the hip through the whole right arm. And next inhale, we'll flip that right palm to face up. And then exhale to start to circle that right arm down towards the ground, reaching through the fingertips and starting to shift gaze towards the left hand. Feeling an opening through the side of the neck. And once you've reached the bottom of your circle, inhaling to flip that palm back up and circle right arm back up and over. Eventually bringing it all the way to plant on the ground next to left hand. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. And then exhale to fold, walk hand over hand back through center. And then press back up to a seated position. Nice. Next, we're going to rock forward, coming on to our knees. Setting up for hero's pose. And you might want to use some props for this one. A block under the seat. Support the hips might be nice. Take some pressure off of the knees. We'll have several options here. You can stay upright or come into a reclined hero's pose. And if you do that, you might want some blankets behind the back as a support. To begin, we'll start with a nice tall spine. Hands resting on thighs, finding that length through the crown of the head once again. And then if you would like to take this into a reclined hero's pose, on an exhale, you can start to walk the hands behind you. And maybe you just come to rest in the palms of the hands, using the arms to support you. Opening the front of the body, moving the gaze up towards the ceiling. And if you feel like you want to take this deeper and that would feel okay in the body, you can start to come down towards elbows or lay all the way back. Onto your props or the floor. But choosing a variation that you can stay in for several breaths. We've taken a reclined version, starting to replant the hands or elbows, that you can press yourself back up on an inhale, moving towards a seated position. We'll exhale with a neutral spine. It's giving ourselves a moment to reset before we move on. If you've set any props up behind your back, we'll take those out of the way. Next inhale will come towards hands and knees, again removing any block or prop from under the seat. Finding a neutral tabletop. And then inhale, we'll send the left toes long, lifting that, or right toes long, sorry. Lifting that right knee, right foot away from the earth. Exhale to hug that right knee in towards the chin. Stepping the right foot all the way through in between the hands. Coming into a low lunge. From here, we can walk that right foot out a little bit wider towards the edge of the mat. Maybe bringing a blanket under left knee for a little bit of extra cushion. And maybe bringing a block under the hands. And starting to sink the hips in towards the ground for a runner's lunge. Maybe coming down to the elbows. That's accessible for you. We'll take one more full breath on this side. One full exhale. And if you've come down to forearms, starting to press back up onto palms, grounding through both hands. And an inhale, shifting the hips back so that you can lift that right foot, sending the right knee back into a tabletop position. Next inhale, we'll send left toes long this time. Sending the ball of the foot or the heel towards the back of the mat. Feeling that line of energy through the left leg. And then exhale, curling left knee in towards the chin. And then stepping left foot through to plant between hands. And then we'll walk that left foot out towards the outer edge of the mat, bringing both hands on the inside of left foot. Setting up for a runner's lunge on the second side. Putting any props in place that you would like. And when you're ready, settling into the breath, sending it into those hips, allowing gravity to help sink the hips towards the floor. Taking one more breath in this runner's lunge. And then if you've come down to the elbows, once again, starting to move towards palms and then pressing into both hands on an inhale, sending hips back and exhaling to step that left knee back towards the right, finding a neutral tabletop. From here, we'll sit back on the hips and then roll down onto our backs. However is comfortable for you. And when we find ourselves in our supine position, we'll plant soles of the feet on the floor, knees bent once again. And we'll inhale to pull right knee in towards the chest. And then cross that right ankle over left knee and start to send the right knee away from the body, coming into a supine, a pigeon shape. You can stay right here, or you can start to pull the left knee in towards the chest, maybe interlacing fingers or behind the left thigh. Keeping the right foot flexed to protect the knee. Wherever you are, keeping the spine connected to the floor from top to bottom, shoulders to hips. And breathing into that outer right hip. One more inhale. Exhale, starting to drop that left foot back towards the floor if you've lifted it away. And then uncrossing right ankle, sending that leg out long, be shaking out the whole leg a little bit, rocking from side to side, release that hip. And then we'll bring that right sole of the foot to plant in the ground next to left. Inhale to draw left knee in towards the chest, and then exhale to cross left ankle over right. Supine pigeon, second side. Then finding any variation on this that you would like. Might be the same as the first side, it might not be. Remembering to keep that left foot flexed, left toes flexed back towards the knee. And remembering to breathe. One more full inhale and exhale. And then starting to release that right foot back towards the floor and uncrossing left ankle, sending left leg out long, rocking out that left side. And then we'll start to set up for our last shape here. We'll use either a block or a blanket, whatever your preference is. It might actually be easiest to come into this from a seat. I'm going to set up for a supported fish pose. So we'll take the block on the low height, facing the long way against your spine, or a folded blanket long against your back. And we'll place it kind of right by the lower back, not quite touching the hips, but pretty close. And we'll send legs out long and start to walk hands back to lay the spine over the block or blanket. Maybe adjusting it a little bit so that it's coming up to just underneath the shoulders. So it's not going to come under all of the shoulders or the neck or head. It'll just be supporting the mid back of lifting the heart away from the floor, but allowing the back of the head to fall back towards the earth. And with legs long, you can bring arms out long alongside us. And just let the body release, drape over the support. You can stay in this shape for as long as you'd like. You can stay in this shape for the rest of class if you want to. Or if you want to move into a more traditional Shavasana, you can begin doing that now by rolling off the block to one side. And then setting up any props you want for your Shavasana. Maybe bringing blankets under the knees and behind the head. Getting out any last little movements or fidgets before settling into stillness. Letting go of any holding in the muscles or in the breath. And just letting the body sink towards the earth. Feeling the support of the ground beneath you. Closing the eyes. And allowing the effects of your practice today to fully sink in. Starting to bring some depth and energy back to the breath. Feeling it start to gently reawaken your whole body. Taking small movements in the fingers and toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles and neck, rocking the head side to side. And letting that movement travel up the limbs into knees, elbows. And then an inhale, taking a long body stretch, reaching through toes and fingers. And then exhaling fully to roll to one side. Taking a moment here to rest in this shape of renewal and rebirth. And when you're ready, eyes still closed, using the hands to press yourself back up to a seated position. And we'll close out class with one collective breath. Exhaling all the air out of the lungs, sealing the lips, drawing breath in through the nose to fill the belly, ribs, and chest, just like we did at the beginning of class today. And then open mouth exhale. Opportunity to release any last little things you might be holding on to. We'll bring hands to heart center, taking a moment of gratitude for yourself, for carving out some time in your day for your practice, and for anyone else who may have practiced with you on their mats from their own spaces tonight. We'll inhale, hands to third eye center, prayer position. The light and teacher in me honors and sees the light and teacher in all of you. Bowing forward, namaste. All right, happy Friday, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.